Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I wanted to go ahead and talk about the Real Housewives of Potomac. I saw them this past weekend at BravoCon 2025. The panel that they had was really, really good. From the panels that I saw, I would say that Potomac had one of the best ones. So shout out to the Real Housewives of as I'm gonna retire. Well, no, I'm not gonna retire. I'm gonna lock it away. I'm gonna lock away calling them the Real Housewives of Potomac just for a second. But please don't make me bring her back out. Cause I'm gonna put her right here. I'm gonna put her right here by my left titty. And if I need to just unbutton her, I'm gonna just bring her out. Right now, I'm gonna put her in here, and I'm gonna button her up, and I'm not gonna bring her back out. But if y'all start cutting up and acting a fool on my TV screen, I'm gonna bring out the Real Housewives of Potomac. Excuse me. All right, y'all. We just gonna talk. This episode was cute. It wasn't bad. Um, we could start off with, you know, Miss Five Star Binder. What were those binders called back in the day that had everybody in a chokehold? Had all the girls and the girls. The ones they called what were they called? Lisa. Remember the binders back in the day? They were you got to be a person of a particular age to know what I'm talking about. Let me see. Let me Google it because it's going to kill me if I don't figure it out. Lisa. Let me put Binder Lisa. Remember Binder Lisa. Lisa Frank. Yes. Lisa Frank had the girls in a chokehold back in the day. Yes. Yes, Lisa Frank. Lisa Frank. Lisa Frank had the girls in a chokehold back in the day. Like I said, you got to be a person of a particular age to know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so Miss Lisa Frank, Miss Five Star Binder Keeper, girl, she's back. Miss Monique, I think I might appreciate the new Monique. You know, let me just go ahead and put this out here. I like Monique. I've always thought that she was a tad bit, not always, but at one point I started to think that she was a tad bit fraudulent. I did. I thought, the whole I don't curse, and I just felt like a part of that, and we'll talk more about this next week based off of some comments I saw Gizelle make. I did think that Monique was just putting on a show. And I know that everybody doesn't curse, but I saw that thing that went viral, and I said, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, okay, what's going on? Bitches ain't big and they ain't saying nothing. 100 other uncles can't tell me nothing. I'll be in the trap, beat that. You know what I'm talking about. Well, everybody's been doing that, and I saw her and Ashley did one. And I saw that Monique had the rapping part, and she was saying the curse words. And I remember once upon a time, Monique didn't even curse. So I was like, maybe this is a new, less fraudulent Monique that we're going to get. I do know that a lot of the girls, this is no shade, a lot of the girls will change up when they get a man, right? You see how Portia did? What Portia got to do with this? I'm just saying. You see how Portia was. Portia was very much a step wife, and then when she got rid of, or when what was his name? I forgot his name. Got filed for divorce. Portia did a whole 180, and girl, what did Phaedra call her? Miss Thoughtlandia ever since. So I'm hoping to have a more an appreciation for Monique. Right now, so far so good. It's only been a half of an episode, or one episode. So Ashley goes out to Monique's home. Monique's home is really nice. I was surprised because I don't know what Monique does for money. I don't know. From what I read, and just because you read something don't mean it's the truth, I thought Monique didn't really walk away with a lot. from the marriage because I think they had like an ironclad prenup. I don't know. Again, we don't know. Just because we don't read about it or just because we read about it don't mean it's the truth. But the house is very nice. Um, she says she says that she's 300 pounds lighter. Let's talk about the confessional. Monique addressed the confessional over BravoCon weekend, and a lot of us, including myself, thought that Monique was probably just being difficult, okay? Because we know she didn't take an updated promo shot. They basically just took her last picture from when she was a housewife with the purple dress on, and they basically made it green. She said that the reason why her background is plain white is because, you know, they take a screenshot of your home and then they use that as your background. She said, well, because of the metallic outfit she had on, it was clashing with the background. And because she signed on at the very last minute, they didn't have enough time. And she wanted to wear her outfit. She told them, like, I really want to wear the metallic outfit. So they just basically said they'll just make it. They made the screen just a plain white screen due to her outfit. Now, the thing that I hate about the outfit, I thought she looked absolutely stunning, but I hate the fact that you could tell it was just, you know, some of the girls, they really only put on an outfit, like they make their waist up is the outfit. Girl, they might have on Uggs or some sweatpants because they never really show full body. Well, you know, they're taking the camera a little further back so you can see more, and so you can see Monique just had on some regular tights. That's the only thing I didn't like. Like, I wish they wouldn't have shown the pink tights because then it kind of throws off the whole outfit. They should have just made it waist up. That's just something I noticed. Anyways, she said that the fight, hey, the fight that she had really took her on a new journey. I guess like this spiritual kind of, you know, journey that she's on out in the woods, you know, free. It took her on a new journey. I really don't want to go back to season 5 fight night. I really don't. But I know that we're going to have to address it eventually. I will just go ahead and say this. No, I'm going to save that. I'm going to save it. So her and Ashley are just catching up, right? Monique and Ashley, I will say, have, from what I've seen based off of some pictures that I've seen hit the internet, they have kept in touch. I mean, just because we don't see people on the internet doesn't mean they're not friends, because everybody isn't on social media. But I will say that I do believe that Monique and Ashley do have a genuine friendship outside of the show, and that they do keep in touch. So anyways, they're catching up on the show, and you know, Ashley's telling Monique that she had a apparel line with Gizelle, and she says, what possessed you to start any type of clothing line with girl Jizzy Bryant? And I think that's the question that a lot of us
Thank God Gizelle is a good-looking woman, because goddamn, she can't dress at all. I'm ashamed to be seen with her sometimes, to be honest. I don't know what she's going to wear.
Ashley ain't the best dresser either. Ashley, she might give you an outfit maybe or two now, but for the most part, Ashley and Gizelle, both a mess. But I will say, based off of Ashley, some people say that Ashley actually has like a yoga situation outside of the show. She just doesn't talk about it on the show. I don't know how true that is. I don't know. But based off the fact that I remember Ashley wanting to like start a yoga line or a yoga studio, it would make more sense if Ashley did the line by herself. We ain't never seen Gizelle work out a day in our life. So for her, it was a weird connection. Like Gizelle and Ashley coming out with an athleisure wear line. Girl, what? What? Anyways, but it's neither here nor there, girl. It flopped. Girl, like I say, G&A was DOA. Hello? Now it's like a health and wellness setup. Ashley, this is what I put. This is how you know Ashley is full of shit. She says it's not her business to tell Monique about Stacy dating Chris. it's Stacy's place to tell Monique. Well, one, Stacy don't owe Monique a goddamn thing. That's one. Okay. Now I will say this much. If they start to build a friendship, I could see I would say at that point, Stacy could say, girl, just an FYI, because we are building a friendship, I did date your ex-husband. I will say that much. If they start to build a friendship and due to the show and the circle being so small, you usually start to build some type of relationship with the girls. Now, if the relationship stays intact, that's a whole nother situation. But eventually Stacy and Monique will start to talk. And then I will say at that point, it is Stacy's responsibility to just say, hey girl, because we don't want another Tammy and Evelyn, right? Well, no, Evelyn knew. Evelyn was a hoe. Let me shut up. This ain't got to do with Evelyn. We don't want another Evelyn and Tammy. So, I would say that Stacy would eventually need to just tell Monique, hey girl, just FYI, girl, I didn't know you. I wasn't fucking your man when you was married. It was way after you got divorced. We went on a couple of dates and it was what it was. But I just want to let you know. So if we do eventually become, y'all get what I'm trying to say. But this is how I know that Ashley is full of shit. One, nobody cares that Stacy and Chris went out on a date. Nobody cares. I wouldn't care if Stacy hopped on a dick and did a full split because one, it was not when Chris was with Monique. It was after Chris and Monique got a divorce that Stacy went out on a date with Chris. If Ashley really thought that there was some there with Monique and Stacy, with Stacy and Chris, then she would have told her friend, I'd be goddamn if you my sister and I know that a bitch in a group, at least I'm thinking this bitch done fucked your man and I thought it was something there. The first thing I'm gonna say, bitch, it's a bitch in a group, bitch, you gonna have to have a conversation with because I think she fucked your nigga. I'm sorry, but that's how you know it ain't shit there because if it was really something there, then in my head, Ashley would tell Monique straight off the rip. So she won't be walking in no funny situation. The last thing I'm gonna do is have my friend walking to a scenario and she don't know what the fuck is going on. But again, I know it's not anything there. And Ashley knows it's not anything there. But that's how you know Ashley knows it's not anything there because if she really thought it was something there, she would have told Monique from the get-go. Sister, it's a bitch named Stacy who I think was fucking your nigga. Now, I don't know if they was fucking when y'all was together or not, but I just know they went on a date. Does that make sense what I'm saying? I just wouldn't have my friend walk into a scenario where I really thought it was something there. But that's how you know, again, I don't think Ashley thinks that there's nothing there. She knows. Ashley just being messy. She's trying to make fetch happen with Chris and Stacy. And to me, it was always a plot from the get-go. The only way I could see it being something there is if we found out Stacy was fucking Chris when Chris was married to Monique. Now, even though Chris took the vows, girl, I could still understand how Monique will want to slap the shit out of Stacy. Anyways, so, baby, Wendy and Eddie. Baby. Baby, the way Wendy was talking about the construction happening in her home. And baby, they started throwing them price tags on that screen. And I think like everybody else, we thought about that alleged insurance fraud. I said, ooh, sister. Ooh, sister girl. You and your own sister. Because I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know shit. So Eddie and Wendy are doing, let me cover my face up because she got me embarrassed. Girl. Eddie and Wendy are doing their house is under construction. Okay, y'all can hear me. Y'all don't need to see my face. She said that the sitting room, family room, kitchen, dining room, floors, sunroom, pantry, the mud room, and all you heard was dollar signs, ching, 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 ching. The laundry room, and she said that this is, and then not she didn't say, the screen put approximately $100,000. I said, oh sister. All right. Anyways, so she says that her dad, I don't think I knew this. I don't remember Wendy talking about this. Maybe they have and I just don't remember, girl. You know, sometimes they really don't like stay too long on some of these storylines. It's just kind of like thrown in and then they're done with it. Well, anyways, Wendy has not physically, girl, Wendy ain't close to her daddy. That's what it comes down to. Because at this point in the game, if Wendy really wanted to see her father, she could. She says she has not physically seen her father in over 20 years. That's a long time. She has not physically seen her father in over 20 years. Her mother got married to her stepfather. I forgot how old Wendy was, but her stepfather passed away when she was 29 years old. And she says that he stepped up to the plate and basically filled in the void, basically stepped up as a father. She talks about how on her dad's side, they have a group, they have like a family thread, and her dad put in the family thread. I think she still communicates with her father. I don't think she just hasn't physically seen him. He lives in Nigeria. But like I said, at this point in the game, if Wendy wanted to catch a flight to Nigeria or send her pack up, her father come over here, whatever the case may be, she could if she wanted to. She just don't want to, and ain't nothing wrong with that. She says that her father put in the thread that to wish her uncle a happy birthday. And she said her uncle's birthday is 5 days, either after or before hers. But the father never picked up the phone and called and told her happy birthday or even mentioned her birthday in the family thread. I said, girl, it is a little mean. I said at that point, girl, I see why she ain't in her quiet as it's kept. I see why she ain't in her hair to see him. But like I said, she wanted to see him, she could, but she don't want to. And I understand why. Okay. You see the boundary that Wendy has in place with her mother. So she was outside talking to Eddie because Eddie's about to go on a Happy Eddie pop-up shop. I said, girl. Mama called and she said, hey, Mama, I'm helping Eddie pack. Can I call you back? And then her mother said, I just have one quick question. And then she said, tell him to wait. She said, no, let me call you back. So I like the fact that you could tell that's a boundary. If I say I'm busy or if I say I'm talking to my husband or with my kids or whatever the case may be, and I say, let me call you back because it's not an emergency, okay, girl, and you say, no, let me ask a question, no. Because your question going to lead to another question, to me trying to make you understand something, no. I'm going to call you back after I finish this conversation with my husband. Okay, that's it. Okay? So I like that. So, Stacy. Stacy is getting ready for the release of her gummies. She is in the cannabis business. I heard that if you can get in the cannabis business, you can make a lot of money. I heard it's a lot of money in the cannabis business. So shout out to the girls out there, making their coins. Now, I will say this much. Can I say something? And I'm not going to take this back. We like Stacy. We actually love Stacy. But I do remember when Wendy started to venture out and was trying to make her different business ideas come into fruition. I remember so many people questioning, what is Wendy doing? Why is she trying to sell candles? Why is she trying to do this? Girl, you a political commentator. Y'all not gonna have those same questions for Stacy? Because what the fuck does Stacy have to do with the cannabis business? You see what I'm saying? If y'all can't understand after Wendy, Eddie, Necca, and her husband have all explained that in the Nigerian culture, girl, your life is pretty much already set up for you. You either gonna be an engineer, a doctor, or maybe a lawyer. One of those, I forgot which one was a maybe. And that maybe Wendy finally gets to do what she wants to do. Like, I don't understand how hard it always baffled me that was so hard for so many people to understand. Yes, she's a doctor because that's what they told her she was going to be, and that's what she became. What if Wendy actually always wanted to do candles? What if Wendy always wanted to be an author? What if Wendy always wanted to do this, but she couldn't? But y'all don't think it's weird that Stacy is going into the cannabis business? What about Stacy gives you cannabis business? Nothing. But mama said I can try to make a quick coin. And so that's what she's doing. I'm not mad at it. Because hell, if I had the money and the access to get into the cannabis business, I would too. Anyways, but shout out to Stacy. She's coming out with a cannabis line. It's called Shayo. That's a Nigerian word. It means happy. That is weird. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. You coming out with a cannabis line, and Eddie's line is called Happy Eddie. You're coming out with and your name of your cannabis line, you're calling it Shia, but it means happy. And then when you get in front of Wendy, you try to say, oh, it means, what did she say? She tried to switch it up. It means joy. As if Wendy don't know what Shia means. Because Wendy sat at the table and said, oh, so you're naming it a Nigerian word. Anyways. But shout out to Wendy. Shout out to Stacy, though. We're not mad at it. It is what it is, girl. It's enough room for everybody. Angel and Ingrid. Angel and Ingrid are sisters. Ingrid is Angel's older sister. She's 12 years older than Angel. She says that the older that she gets, the more they can connect with each other. Due to, just life experiences. I like Angel. I definitely think Angel should come back next season. I think the girls should have at least 2 chances before we kind of ship them off. So I definitely hope that Angel comes back next season. I know she's not as horrible as people are trying to make her seem. But Angel loses me. So her and her sister are talking, and they talking cash money shit. I'm not mad at it because I do the same thing with my sister. So her sitting down with her sister and they're talking about the girls in the group, specifically Gizelle and Wendy. I wasn't mad at it. It is what it is, girl. She talking shit about these bitches who she don't like with her sister. Girl, well, we all gonna do it. The thing where Angel starts to lose me is even in this scene, you still have more smoke for Wendy, who laughed, than you do for Gizelle, who really embarrassed you. At least with Ingrid, her sister, Ingrid was tugging on both of their wigs. See, I think it would have been different if Angel would have been knocking them both upside the head. Like Ingrid said, girl, you can't talk about nobody photoshopping nobody when every time I look up, your neck be photoshopped. Okay? Now, you could probably still tell who Gizelle is, but it don't take away from the fact that you photoshopping them those necks of yours. And then you, Miss Before and After, you see how she wrapping both of them up at the same time? I can appreciate that. But to me, Angel does not have smoke for Gizelle. She kind of had a little smoke for Gizelle this weekend at BravoCon on some of the they were interviewing in the interviews in the back. But on this show, even in this scene, she still has more smoke for Wendy. And y'all wonder why the girls be calling y'all colorists. Girl, no, I'm just gonna throw that. I'm gonna go. That's one way. Because girl, you still got more smoke for Wendy than you got for Gizelle, and Gizelle is the one who said it. How you more mad at the person who laughed? Again, I would understand if Angel was wrapping up Gizelle and Wendy, right? Girl, you need to shut the fuck up because, girl, we know you photoshopped your pictures, and bitch, why are you laughing? Because we know how you look before you got on the show, too. You see what I'm saying? That's how. If I'm wrapping up everybody who got something to say and everybody who laughing. You shut the fuck up, and why you laughing? Because we remember your before picture. You done had a whole mommy makeover, from the face all the way down. Now Wendy was never an unattractive woman, but we know Wendy does look different. You see what I'm saying? That's where Angel really starts to lose me. Anyways, and then she even referred to Wendy as Forrest Whitaker. All of us, girl, let me shut up. Like I said, girl, that's why the girls be calling y'all colorist. Because y'all do seem to have a different type of energy for the girls of a darker hue than the girls of a lighter hue. And then the ones who be causing the most chaos and confusion. So Tia, I think Tia's family is a type of family that is interesting for reality TV. Like whenever I see Wendy and her kids, boring, right? I mean, because her kids are only a certain age, so they only gonna give so much, you know. Gizelle and her daughters used to give good TV because her daughters are of a certain age, they're more outspoken, and Gizelle doesn't try, or she didn't try and put a muzzle on them, right? So Gizelle and her daughters, I will find interesting. I feel like Tia and her family, they're going to be interesting. So when Tia was on the girls' trip, her daughter had a birthday party. Somebody who they disinvited to the birthday party got mad, and he put their address out, and they said like tons of people showed up. To the point where the daughter called the cops, she said 5 times. Now, mind you, the daddy was there. Girl, he let them kids run amok. That's all, girl. It sounded like the daddy was in the room watching TV, and girl, he just said, girl, fuck them. They'll figure it out. This is a good life lesson. Anyways, Gizelle is still, girl, dealing with his wheel. I mean, some of y'all said that Gizelle has siblings. I've watched every season except for season 2 of Potomac, and I don't. Some of y'all say Gizelle has siblings, but the way that y'all let me know, does Gizelle have siblings? Because the way that she speaks, you would think that Gizelle was the only child, because she says that in her will she knows for a fact. Basically, the week that her father passed away, his will was changed. And Gizelle, and it makes sense, girl. If he was as sick as he was clearly, then I would be with Gizelle. There's no way he could be in his, I don't know, a lack of a better word, right mind to sign over something like that and take his grandkids and daughter out. So I could definitely see where Gizelle is coming from, right? She does not get along with the stepmother. So I'm assuming, and she does not have any relationship with the stepmother, which is her father's wife. So I guess I'm assuming the stepmother stepped in and did some changing. I don't know. But Gizelle is trying to get that situated. But the way that, that's what I lost my train of thought. But the way Gizelle speaks, you would think that Gizelle was the only child, because she was like, if anything, the estate would have everything in the estate would have went to her or her daughters. That's what she said. And I was like, well, bitch, don't you got brothers? And I thought y'all been telling me Gizelle got siblings, but girl, not the way she talking. She didn't say it would have went to me and my siblings. She said it would have went to me or my daughters. And I don't know if she does have siblings and they have grandkids, But y'all say the wife trump everything, right? When you legally married. I want to know I really would like to know the relationship between Gizelle and her stepmother. Because clearly, if the daddy married her and he stayed married to her for how long? He didn't give a fuck about y'all not liking each other. Anyways, Greg and Kay. I put this is the first time they seemed okay. This was the first scene I have seen with Greg and Kay where they came across as likable. The first scene, to me. To me. So Greg and Kay are going to a Wu-Tang Clan concert. Is it Wu-Tang Clan? Yeah. Wu-Tang concert. And Greg is in his new house. Now, I don't know if it's a new house that they were building. Because remember Kay's first season, she said they were building a house. And then we never heard nothing about that house no more. Which is absolutely crazy to me. Because I know people build houses. I don't know. I guess people build houses and stop all the time. How many people start building a house and stop? I don't know. I'm sure it's happened. Right? Because, well, I mean, I don't know, girl. I don't know shit about a house. But I just think it's strange that Kay came on telling us that her and her fiance were building a home and we ain't heard shit about that house no more. But now Greg is in a new home. So again, I don't know if that's a new construction. I don't know if that's the home that they were building that Greg has moved into or if this is just a completely different home that Greg has moved into. I don't know. But anyways, her and Greg are in therapy. They're taking shots. Like I said, girl, her and Greg really did come across as likable in this scene, which is sad because, girl, y'all been on the show for like a season and a half. Anyways, they're in therapy, and I put that it looks like therapy is helping. Ooh. So shout out to Greg and Kay, finally, girl. I said Kay finally. Kay finally just came across as someone that was a part of the show. You know, I don't be vibing with Kay. I like Kay, but I just don't vibe with Kay as like a housewife. Some of the girls can't grasp that. Like, I love Jenna Lyons from Real Housewives of New York, but Jenna Lyons is not a good housewife. She's not coming back next season either. It was confirmed online. So, but, you know, you can, like, girl, I can like you and still know, and, girl, you all right. Anyway, but shout out to Kay. So Stacy's nipples, and Wendy, all three of them meet up for lunch. When I tell you, baby, Stacy, when Wendy told Stacy, girl, you should have had this outfit on whole night. Because Stacy nipples was just out. Okay? Not out, but they were clearly poking through her dress, which is okay, girl. I mean, girl, nipples are nipples, girl. Most of us have them, I'm assuming. So anyways, she tells Wendy the name of her gummies. I already stated this earlier. Shayo, Wendy says that's a Nigerian word. She said it means joy. And then Wendy asks her, why did she name it a Nigerian word? And she was like, you know, I have an affinity to my Nigerian heritage. When Wendy looked dead at the camera, Wendy turned and looked dead at the camera. Girl, one thing Wendy gonna do is look in the camera when she think you full of shit. Girl, I'm not gonna lie, Stacy is funny. When Stacy said, you know I'm your sister. Stacy say little shit that be funny as hell. Like, remember her first season? I think it was Jazzy who came over to her house and she was like, look at you looking like the Matrix. It be little shit you gotta catch Stacy say. Anyway, she was like, you know I'm your sister. Did you say I was your Nigerian sister? She said, Stacy is a mess. Anyways, girl. So Ashley, it's basically they had World Pride in DC this past summer. I was gonna go, but the building, to me, the buildings in DC be so small to me. Like, it reminds me of like a New York. Like, y'all buildings don't be that big. Not every building, but I was just like, for a World Pride, I was like, girl. That's how I felt about New York when New York had World Pride. I was like, girl, Unless y'all got some buildings that I just feel like the spaces be so small, and I'm like, for a regular Pride, it already be packed. I went to DC Pride a couple of times, Black Pride, and girl, I remember a couple of places I went to. You know, I'm a sweater, girl. I was about to pass out. Girl, is this microphone on? Okay. I was about to pass out, so I was like, girl, if it was like that on a Black Pride weekend, then girl, just imagine how it's gonna be on a World Pride. A World Pride? I said, girl, count me out. Anyway, so Ashley is doing a float for World Pride. And can I say something? I know there are drag kings out there. I do. But it's something about Ashley when she does this get up as Ash Top, this drag king. It's just weird to me. It's weird. It's cringy. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I just don't. I just don't. I don't. I don't. I don't. I just don't get it from Ashley. It's weird to me. That's all I got. She passes out t-shirts to the girls. She's giving all the girls a drag king name. I'm not gonna, some of the names were actually cute. Mind you, these are supposed to be drag king names. So the shirt she gave to Angel is Oliver her tits. Cause you know Angel has big titties. So it was Oliver tits. And then for Wendy, you know, for her 4 degrees, it's called Degrees D's Nuts. I thought that was cute. Stacy, hers was Lick Her Hosen. I didn't understand Stacy's name. Somebody let me know why her name was Lick Her Hosen. And then Tia's name was Proper Puss Popper. I thought that was cute. And then Gizelle's name was Serving Jizz. I thought that was cute. Gizelle was like, but I thought it was cute because we call Gizelle Jizzy. Well, Karen, you know, called her Jizzy, so we started calling her Jizzy. But her name is Jizzy, so I thought it was cute for her to be Serving Jizz. I thought that was cute. And then Kay's name, I love Kay's name. Kay's name was You know, Kay is a beauty, you know, guru. You know, she has her own business. So, you know, she injects people and stuff. So hers was Come Inject Her. I thought that was cute. Anyways, so, girl, they're all dancing and stuff. Baby, I'm not gonna lie. I did scream. Bitch, when Monique walked in. Ow! I'm not gonna lie, I did kind of get excited. I've never been excited about Monique. I've always had the stance, and I'm gonna keep the same stance that Monique had all the ingredients that you thought would make an excellent housewife, but when it all came together, it's like, girl, we forgot to put the eggs. And when we took the cake out the oven, it just fell down in the middle. But Monique always had the ingredients of a great housewife. She had the money, the houses, the ignorant ass mother-in-law. Remember her? Did not get that helper together. The kids, the husband, right? Her brother was gay. Like she had like the there was there, right? It was there. But I just thought Monique just flopped as a housewife. But anyways, I will say that Monique came in. So they're on the floor just dancing. Girl, just dancing right. Girl, Monique, pumped around that corner. Hey, hey, hey. And girl, I really don't think they knew she was coming. Everybody was surprised. I think even Gizelle was surprised. Gizelle's reaction gave me, oh shit. Girl, baby, the way. Bitch, the way Gizelle started fixing her hat. Girl, she hurried up and tapped, what's the hairdresser? The one who does her wig, girl. She tapped Kyle on the shoulder. She went back to fixing her hair. I said gagged her, girl. Monique, I think Monique gagged the shit out of out of Gizelle. I do not think Gizelle was expecting Monique. At least that day. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it got back to Gizelle that Monique was gonna come back to the show. Based off what Monique said, it happened very, very quickly. She said, I think she said she met up with them. I think they called and asked her. They had been calling and asking her. She kept telling them no. And then she finally said yes. And then I think they did all the paperwork and she was filming in 2 days. So she said it happened very, very fast. So anyways, she goes around and, you know, she hugs everybody. Her and Wendy hug each other. You know, she let it be known before that her and Wendy hadn't seen each other since she left the group. It's been about 5 years. I do have something to say on that, but I'll save that to another video because I don't feel like I'll save it because y'all know where I'm going with it. I'm gonna save it. And then she meets everybody, you know, and then Kay. I saw a lot of people who did not like what Kay did. Even though there's no there with Stacy and Monique, girl, I actually thought it was funny. Bitch. So Kay basically said, oh, so you know Stacy. And then she said, no. I don't ever leave my house, so I don't know nobody. I know that's right, bitch. That's so much shit I'll say. Bitch, I don't leave my apartment. I don't know nobody, okay? And then she said she saw you around. And then Gizelle said, no, it wasn't Monique, it was Chris. I'm sorry. I thought that shit was funny. I thought the shit was hilarious. And then Kay said, oh, I heard Samuels. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bitch. I'm sorry. I thought the shit was a Kiki. And then she said, that is your ex, right? that Stacy was dating. And then it went off. I thought the shit was hilarious, girl. I was laughing my ass off. Again, I know it's some bullshit, but girl, I just thought it was messy how Stacy and Kay, not Stacy, how Kay and Gizelle both did that shit. Anyways, y'all, it's to be continued. That's it. There were a lot of other things I wanted to say, but I'm gonna wait because I know that, girl, eventually we're gonna have to rehash season 5 fight night, especially when Gizelle and Monique sit down. And also, we're going to have to rehash Wendy and Monique's lack of a relationship. Because I feel like a lot of people are not being honest in their stance when it comes to Wendy and Monique's relationship. We'll talk about that later. All right, y'all, I'm gone. And plus, I got to get these reviews out. I still have to watch Braxton Family Values and Bell Collective and Love and Marriage Huntsville. So I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good night. Bye, y'all.